Hello, Justin here again. Hello my virtual friends out there in internet land, wherever you may be. The other thing that a lot of people had questions about were amplifiers. So I'm going to try and take you through my rig first of all now, and then I'm going to do another little lesson on how to use a little combo amplifier, which is probably more like what most of you have. So you can see behind me, this is my main kind of touring rig here. Up the top here is my rack, which contains my preamps and my effects pedals and stuff like that. This thing here is a little bit weird. Some of you might not have seen this before. This is called a Demeter silent speaker chamber. And inside here, this opens up like this, and inside on the bottom there is a speaker, and there's a little clip here that takes a microphone. And so when I play, like on stage, I can't sometimes be really loud, so I use this speaker in here, and the front of house gets the sound from that. So it means I can kind of be quiet on stage but have a nice loud sound, because generally you have to be a bit pokey loud to get a good tone. And I'm also running here a stereo speakers, both Mesa Boogie, single 12, what's called ported speakers. So they've got like a port at the side which lets some of the bass sounds out, because they're closed back cabinets for those of you interested, and closed back cabinets often don't have a lot of low end, but these seem to satisfy my low end desire. Now underneath here I've got my little Mesa Boogie Express 525, which is what I'll be doing some little amp demos with in a minute. And underneath on the other side, if you can see behind me, is my AER acoustic amplifier. I use the model called a Domino, which kind of works like a 4-channel PA. It's good for amplifying acoustic guitar, but you can also plug microphones and stuff into it as well. If I'm doing a small gig somewhere where I'm playing and singing, then I can just take that little thing and off we go. Also, you might not see it too well from on here now, but I've got my TC Electronic G-System floor controller, Ernie Ball, it's called VP Junior volume pedal, which I'm not all that happy with actually. I'm a bit cross with Ernie Ball. It's only lasted one tour and it's already getting a bit noisy, so I'm not going to be using that brand next time I buy a volume pedal. And you can see there that big blue thing with the flashing lights is my Peterson VS2 virtual strobe tuner. So what I thought I'd do, I'm going to grab the camera off the stand in a sec, and I'm going to run you through all of the stuff that's in my rack and how it works. Okay, please excuse if this is a little shaky, but I'm having to do this, hold this by hand and do the stuff myself. Okay, so this top thing here, this is called a Furman power, I'm not sure actually what it's called, something, power treater, and it makes sure the power is clean. It's got these little pull-out lights, which is a little bit effects unit wank, but it does its job and makes sure that the power is clean for everything in my rack. Okay, underneath here we've got a Mesa Engineering Rectifier preamp, which is designed for recording direct into the desk. We've got all sorts of switches. We've got 2 rows of knobs. The top row is for the clean sound and the bottom row is for the dirty sound. We've got here gain knobs, which control the amount of distortion, treble, mid, bass, presence, master volume. And then we also have over here things like we can control the preamp voicing, whether it's live for bright or warm for recording. We've got here whether it's changed with a foot switch. We've got a recording output master, an output for live, and an output for solo, because you can have a separate volume control here for your solo if you're using that for a live rig. We've also got different settings for the clean and the dirty, whether we want vintage, raw or modern sounding distortion, and whether we want a clean, you can actually see my hand there, that might help, clean, fat and bright for the clean sound. Underneath that we've got my TC Electronics G-System. Now that's actually the internal of that. So this thing down here, if I take my rug away so you can actually see what it looks like. Okay, that's a floorboard controller, and this thing, the TC Electronic, lives inside that G-System normally, but you can take it out and put it in a rack. So that's the G-System thing. There's no knobs on the front because everything is controlled by the floorboard. Now underneath that I've got a pedal board tray, and on my tray I have an LR Baggs Acoustic DI, which is a loop inside the G-System. I also have a Boss Blues driver, which is a Keely modified one, and I have a Keeley compressor. So you can see those things are nice easy access on the little slide out thing. All the wiring, all of these are connected into the G-System. You can see here even that it's got here loop 1, loop 2, loop 3, loop 4 insert. So those 3 things and the Mesa Boogie are all looped inside this TC electronic thing. Now underneath that we have the Mesa Boogie 2020 valve power amp, and this powers at the moment the speakers, which is 1, 2. When I'm playing live, I'll just give you the nice things. I'm here, I'll show you the close-up inside the speaker chamber. So there's the little speaker chamber, the microphone lives on that thing. You can see it's all padded out nicely or whatever. And basically, this thing down here on the floor, this is the controller, and this controls everything that I've got in my rack. So you can see here I've got up and down for my banks over this side. Then I've got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which are my different sounds that I can choose. Above that we've got modulation, pitch, delay, reverb, boost, which gives an overall volume boost, and at the top I've got here distort, that's the controls the on and off for the blues driver, acoustic, which is the acoustic DI thing, the LR Baggs, compress, which is the compressor, boogie, which turns the boogie on and off, and switch controls the channel of the boogie, so between the clean and the dirty channel, and that thing's the output, that's what I use for editing. So all of these knobs as well, they turn, they're not just press on and off. You can actually turn the knob to change the settings on stuff. So if I wanted to change the delay, say, I'd go up and hit the edit button, and then I'd hit the delay button. And now I'm in the mode here. You can see, I don't know if it says delay 5-10 milliseconds. By turning this knob here, you can see it's changing the settings by turning these things. So it's really a versatile little unit in that I can have I can use all the floorboard is everything that I need to control. It does things. It's got this thing called relays in it, which is here. This is the switch. Yeah. Now, when I'm pressing that on, that's actually I'm still in edit mode. Hang on. So by pressing that on and off, I'm actually changing. I don't know if you'll see up here on the boogie. There we go. That's from pressing that thing on the floor. It's changing the sounds in the rack by doing this, and by putting like pressing this button on, activates the Boss Blues driver because it's plugged in and turned on all the time, and this just turns it on and off. Now this G system thing has one cable that comes out of there and it plugs into the front of this. It's like an Ethernet kind of cable, and so that's the brains of the whole operation. There's also a volume, here's my little volume pedal, which doesn't work properly, thanks Ernie Ball, and out of that there's 3 leads. One's the guitar lead going into it, one is another lead which goes again back into the TC Electronics, and the 3rd lead there goes straight into my Peterson strobe tuner. I'm doing an accidental close-up. Whee! Crikey, Justin, learn to use your camera, boy. Okay, and that's my whole rig. So there she is, there's the lids on top, 2 amps, there's that AER one I mentioned to you down the bottom, there's the boogie, and the 2 cabinets. Well, I hope you've enjoyed having a little look around my rig. It changes a little bit. Sometimes when I'm touring I just have a pedal board and I don't take the whole rack around, so it's just the TC G system and the pedals. They all come out and go into a big box, and I just take that one thing. When you're in a really important thing just to mention about buying gear is make sure you test your gear out really properly when you buy it. So buy a bit of gear, or even better, see if you can borrow it from the music shop and take it home and give it a good testing, or test it out for ages in the music shop, and really kind of explore the different sounds that you can get from each bit of kit. I keep saying git instead of kit, it's really funny. So a good starting point would be to do a bit of web research and find some reviews from different people and see what they say about different bits of gear. There's a whole range of different pedals and amps that you can go for, and it's not like one's necessarily better than the other ones. They're just different, they've got different sounds, so you have to find the one that you like. Okay, so I think that's plenty enough about my rig. So I hope you enjoyed that little look around, and I'll see you again for another lesson sometime soon. Well, not that this was really a lesson, you know what I mean. Take care, see you soon, bye bye.